Hi, I'm Katisa Rudolph, and today I'll be going over some things that you need to know about the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia and how things are conducted when it's concerning fire codes. First, let me just start off by saying we have two different entities that come together, and they play a very important role. The first one is the AHT. That stands for the authority having, J. That stands for the authority having jurisdiction. They're responsible for determining the codes that are being applied and ensure that they are provided correctly. An example for the state of Georgia here in Henry County, they would use the code UCGA 25-2, which comes immediately in effect when buildings are being developed or constructed. Now, alongside them is the NFPA. The NFPA stands for National Fire Protection Association. Their job is to assist with the AHJ and the OSHA and other agencies to adhere to safety guidelines. Altogether, these entities' job is to eliminate death, injury, or property loss. When it comes to developing different types of new buildings, new structures, infrastructures, anything dealing with that. Some people that help that are a part of that and meet with these people are your state fire marshals. They conduct the fire services and help monitor insurance examinations along with other law enforcement agencies. Now, for us, and I'm talking about Henry County, when you look at a building such as like the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is known for those that are sports lovers, one of the things that had to happen was they had to implement the ASTM E119 and the 263 test to determine the fire resistance rating. And that's conducted with the hours based on exposure to the standard time and temperature curve. The key factors that are used for these type of tests in my community, there are three things that are measured to determine the fire resistance levels: structural adequacy, fire integrity, and insulation. When it comes to structural control, imagine, if you will, a large building that has only one way to get in and one way to get out. That would be hazardous for a lot of people and very dangerous with only one exit and a lot of people crammed inside. That would be a huge fire code. Because if something were to happen to that building and there's only one exit in and one way out, everybody trying to get out at that one time, a lot of people would get trampled over and fatalities would eventually happen. So when you see a situation like that, that is when your fire codes would normally come into play. And they are always looking to see, if you have the proper amount of fire exits, emergency exits, the extinguishers, if you have the smoke detectors are in regulation, things like that. And a lot of times when you go into businesses or you see, or even apartments for that matter, and you hear the loud chirping, that's a lot of, it was a common thing that happens in Georgia from what I've seen in the city of Atlanta. People just really don't care about smoke detectors going off. So the fire protection, the boundary conditions, and the number of fire services have a big influence on capacity and space. And I noticed that at my job, we have a number of different warehouse levels, and for a long time we only had a couple of fire extinguishers that were even serviceable. So it wasn't even just about the fire extinguishers, it was just, are they even serviceable to help us if there was an actual fire? So we take into consideration a situation that happened not too long ago, and that was with Mercedes Stadium. They had to come up with an updated system to handle the fires due to the heavy use of pyrotechnics and fireworks. So the city had to come together with the fire marshal and invested in a way to make it better. So they partnered up with Akron Brass, and they're known for their sprinkler systems. And they developed a state-of-the-art sprinkler system for the Mercedes-Benz dealership stadium that is not even needed by an employer physically. It is used by remote control. This sprinkler system was created for them. It is top of the line when it comes to a fire suppression system. And that was to thank because of the National Fire Protection Association that personally came out to make sure that everything was in compliance because of the large amount of people that Mercedes dealership stadium can hold. So when we're looking at different fire codes and things of that nature, the testing that goes into it is a lot, and it means a lot because they're looking at your blueprints, they're looking at the actual structure itself, they're looking at the surrounding areas, they're looking at the exterior safety, fire safety, and the interior as well. And those are the things that come into play anytime you are trying to do any type of construction. These are the things that they're looking at to make sure that we're in compliance with whatever we're trying to build. It lets us know that the community can still develop and create infrastructure, but it is a safe way to do it because once a fire starts, you have to think about the property damage and the surrounding properties as well. And so when those things happen, we're big on filing insurance claims, but it is those agencies that make sure that we're in the right to even have a claim, or were we negligent and not adhering to the fire codes? So the structures and the actual compliance go hand in hand because you can't build on something without knowing what will have the cause and effect later on to come. I hope this has been influential and gave you some type of information in some type of way. Thank you, and that's my time.